Hello, welcome to Future of Finance with Salil, where we explore the latest trends, insights, and strategies in the world of finance. I'm your host, Salil, and today we have a very special guest and a very good friend of mine, Vimal Venu. Vimal has had an incredible career in the world of finance for over 28 years. Vimal is a Bachelor of Commerce, a Chartered Accountant, a Certified Fraud Examiner, and an Information Systems Auditor. He is the founding partner of the firm Vimal Venu and Company, a leading CA firm in Kerala. He is also the founding director of Audit Tech Solutions Private Limited and Proaegis Private Limited. Welcome to the show, Vimal. Let's start by going back a bit. What inspired you to pursue a career in finance?
My journey with finance started when I was in 12th standard in Kendriya Vidyalaya, Ottapala, wherein we had a career guidance session by Venu sir. He explained us the details about the career of chartered accountancy, and till such time I was ambitious to become an engineer. But then after that session, my entire plan got changed and I decided to pursue chartered accountancy and become a chartered accountant at the age of 21. And thereafter I started my own practice and it's going on well.
Many of our listeners are future aspiring finance leaders. So when you look back, what is that some decisions that changed your career trajectory?
The first point will be to decide whether to pursue the course of chartered accountancy or any other similar kind of professional course in finance area. And secondly, whenever we decide to go for this professional course of chartered accountancy, we tend to hear a lot of negativity that it is a very difficult course and it is not easy to qualify and things like that. So what is very important is not to hear such negativity and focus on your goal of completing the chartered accountancy at the earliest possible time. And finally, you have a very focused goal, achieving the CA qualification or any other professional qualification which you aim to achieve. So that goal should be very specific and you should plan well in accordance with the desired objective of achieving this particular goal.
Finance world is evolving rapidly with the advent of blockchains, digital payments, cryptocurrency, ESG, and now AI in finance. So what do you think are the key trends that is shaping the world of finance in the next 5 to 10 years?
In fact, now the most heated discussion is happening in the world of AI because it has changed a lot of systems, a lot of processes which otherwise was taking a lot of time and man hours. But now that has been totally changed and we have a lot of new AI techniques and systems in place which will reduce the workload of any finance professional. Naturally, it also has some threat involved. The main aspect is what has to be relied with AI is something which needs some professional guidance because there are a lot of AI tools available which many of them may not be so useful as it is being pronounced. Secondly, the blockchain technology, again, it's a wonderful technology that is going to change a lot of systems and processes that is going to happen, and it is going to integrate the entire system of business with the government departments. On the other hand, the entrepreneurs will also have to be very careful that they also equip themselves to understand the ingredients of the blockchain aspects and ensure that their systems and processes are proper and there is no inadequacy with regard to the tax compliance part. And as regards the digital currency and online payments and things like that, it has evolved a lot in the last 2-3 years. And now I can say that most of the transactions in the business sector is happening through the digital payment system. So I don't know if that is going to disrupt any further because it has already done a lot of disruption.
So what do you think are the biggest risks and opportunities associated with the increasing digital payments that is happening all over the world?
Basically, the increase in digital payments per se is very interesting. And it is advantageous if you see the kind of digital tracking that the governments and the various financial institutions can have. It is something which is very good. But then if you see the other aspects of digital payments in terms of cryptocurrency and all, there we have a huge challenge. In fact, we can say that it is a threat because most of these cryptocurrency transactions are happening without any tracking. And it is being used for a lot of payments which may not be good for the country or the economy as well because most of the news that we get are based on the usage of cryptocurrency for terrorism activities, drugs, and similar things. So this, when I say there is a threat involved, naturally there is also an opportunity involved. So the opportunity lies in the cybersecurity area. The professionals who are engaged in cybersecurity, finance professionals who have some expertise in cybersecurity, they have a lot of opportunities in this area, so that the tracking can be done easily, and how the ultimate usage of these cryptocurrencies are being done can be evaluated properly, and misuse can be prevented to a great extent.
Speaking of trends, how do you see AI in particular impacting finance and businesses in the coming years?
Any activity which is done by a finance professional, there is a potential opportunity that it can be replaced using AI technologies, so that the effort of the finance professional get significantly reduced. Same is the case with corporates as well. The business entities, if you see, they can also use a lot of AI tools which will help them to reduce number of manpower required in a very significant manner. Again, all tools may not be suitable for everyone. So there should be some customization requirement for any AI tools for any business enterprise. So that is something which they have to be very selective, and definitely this will have a huge impact in the profitability of any business.
But then do you think that will lead to a bunch of unemployment or loss of work for the workforce?
Definitely everyone feels that AI will have some employment loss. I cannot say it will not create any employment loss, but then there are a lot of other employment opportunities created. See, you can create AI tools, that is again an opportunity, and then where to deploy, that is again an opportunity, and how to deploy the AI tools, that is again an opportunity. And if you see, there are a lot of other areas where you can focus, and it will also open up some new areas for professional services. So definitely it is going to be an opportunity.
So how do you manage data security and the cyber security challenges in an increasingly digital finance world?
One important aspect which everyone has to follow is to use authentic softwares, which has a lot of inbuilt features in terms of cybersecurity.
Right.
Secondly, wherever possible, you have to have the support of a cybersecurity professional, so that there can be a lot of security aspects created, like firewalls can be implemented in the systems, and a lot of other features wherein the authentication can be controlled, the usage can be controlled in terms of email or mobile OTPs and things like that, or even facial recognition softwares are available. So all these things can definitely help in increasing the cybersecurity aspects. But in any case, the cybersecurity risk cannot be fully avoided. So we have to ensure that our data loss is not there. So adequate backup systems has to be implemented, and wherever possible, usage of cloud facilities with adequate security systems can be used.
But do you think this will increase the cost of operations for companies?
When you think about the cost of original softwares, original licensed software or firewall or such kind of security aspects, it involves certain cost. But then when you have a risk of cybersecurity threats, naturally what we have to do is to verify or to calculate the risk that we are taking. So if you don't have any problem, even if you have any cybersecurity threats, then you need not go for such costly aspects. But definitely original license and things like that will definitely improve your productivity. So when you compare the cost benefit analysis, naturally what we see is incurring these costs will not have any impact on the business, but definitely it will have some benefit in the long run.
What role do you think sustainability and ESG factors play in the financial decision making in future?
See, basically these are something which is going to be order of the day, and naturally any new concept which is going to be implemented will have some cost implication. But then it is all related to improving the efficiency and protecting the environment, and naturally every business will have to consider these aspects wherein they comply with the ESG standards and sustainability aspects. And there are ESG audits also in place. Plus, they can also even make some steps further to make a market leadership position or to create a different standard for their organization. So that will definitely have a very good impact on the business and the brand value of the business.
So you already do forensic audit, infosec audit. So do you have any plans? You or your firm have any plans to do ESG audit in future?
Yes, definitely. We have done a lot of systems audit, information systems audit, and forensic audits. And now it is going to be the ESG, which is going to have a lot of importance and requirements. Definitely, we are in the process of doing that.
So Vimal, how can finance leaders drive innovation when their role demands them to be in a risk management situation?
See, generally, finance professionals are a sort of people or a sort of category which is considered as blocking any innovations.
Because they are risk averse.
But then, on the contrary, what is happening is they are the ones who support any innovations. Because any innovation will definitely lead to some productivity increase or some profitability increase. And therefore, he will be definitely considering that. But then he will definitely evaluate the risk associated with that. And what happens if it doesn't work properly? So that is a risk which he calculates, and based on that only he will give his concurrence whether to go for that or not.
Perfect.
So he is actually favoring innovations as long as it is good for the entity and it is good for the growth of the business.
So given that all regulatory bodies and departments are collecting a lot of data and then sharing between themselves, how do you think data security and the audit function in particular is going to change in the future?
See, the trend is data collection by the government departments, and now the systems which are being implemented by the government departments, they have enough and more data coming from various sources. And these are being used to ensure that the entrepreneur, the business units are complying with the law of the land. In many cases, what happens is these data which are collected by the department will not be matching with the data which is available for the audit. So that is one biggest challenge which an auditor or any finance professional faces. And in many cases, what is happening is there could be some errors also in the data which is collected from various sources by the government agencies. So there is a huge opportunity in this area in terms of data validation. And again, when you say there is an opportunity, there is also a threat, because there is always a possibility that the business entity, they would have forgotten to account certain transactions, or they would have accounted it in a different way. Compliance aspect wise, if you see, this is going to be a very detailed analysis which is done in the back end by the various government agencies like GST or income tax. They do a lot of data validation in the back end. The system itself does a lot of data validation. And only the mismatches or the discrepancies are being verified, and the assessments or the tax demands or things like that is being done based on such discrepancies which is noticed by the officers.
So do you think audit procedures and audit methodologies should change, will change?
Definitely, it has undergone a lot of changes in the last couple of years, because earlier we were not having third-party data available like what it is right now. If you see the income tax portal, you have the annual information systems, annual information reports available. In the GST, if you have the GSTR 2B data, that is the input tax data which is available. So even if you have any expense which is incurred, those data are also available in the GST portal.
Right.
Then there are a lot of TDS data is available, TCS data is available. So the availability of data is very huge, and this definitely helps the auditor to ensure that he can cross-check the data which is available in the books of accounts with the various data available from the portal. So it has made a lot of change in the way audits are being performed. Probably 5 years before, the audits which were performed were not as it is being performed right now. So the workload has significantly reduced in those areas, and the accuracy is also increased. If you see earlier, we can say that we are using test checking for various verification, but now that has almost been converted into 100% verification. And if he is not functioning his audit properly, then definitely he has to face a lot of challenges, because now the departments are also coming up with a lot of discrepancies in the audit reports if it is not being done properly.
So just to ask you a follow-up out of the box question, do you think the department will start connecting or taking data directly from the books of accounts, or is that too far out?
Now if you see the kind of data collection which is happening by the departments, they have almost every data. Very few data is only not available with them. So probably in the days to come, that also will be available with them. So there are a lot of ways in which the data collection is happening. So they will definitely strengthen this mechanism, and they will have some AI tools implemented in the back end, which will definitely help to find out the various tax evasions very easily.
Right.
So that is going to be the order of the day.
How do you recommend businesses approach decision making in this world of uncertainty and increased technology advancements?
That is a very good question. In fact, what we have observed over the last many years is that many business entrepreneurs, they tend to take decisions based on emotional factors. Very few are actually taking decisions based on the data. So a good professional will definitely be able to provide adequate data for a business entrepreneur to make suitable decisions for his business. In many business, they have a sort of approach with regard to this. They tend to take the data which is available, which may not be in the proper format or which may not be adequate for a decision making.
But we both know that entrepreneurs don't listen to data or always take emotional decisions. So how do you handle such situation? How do they make them listen?
If you see, we can say that more than 75% of the decision making process happens on emotional level. So we have had a lot of experience in this, and we have explained to the business entrepreneurs on the various pros and cons of taking such decisions. And we have also helped them to understand the difficulties or the failures that have happened for some other business entrepreneurs when they have used this emotional decision making for various aspects. And what has happened when it is based on data. But it is a very difficult task to make them to come to this decision making based on data, because by nature they are used to emotional decision making. So that is something which has to be corrected over a period of time.
Vimal, you have 28 years of experience. So for young professionals and future CFOs tuning in, what advice would you give them to build a successful career in finance in a very fast-paced, dynamic world?
The biggest challenge that we face in the finance industry in connection with the new finance professionals, most of them don't have the habit of continuous learning. Once they have a professional qualification, then they feel that it is the ultimate, there is no requirement for further learning. So it is a continuous process of learning that is required. And then there are a lot of things which you can explore, like what we discussed earlier. ESG is something, forensic investigations, forensic audits are another area. Information systems audit is another area. Insolvency is yet another area. Valuation. So there are many areas which are untapped in the current market, or where you have a lot of requirements for professionals. And in any case, they should ensure that they continuously keep up with the changes in the law. Secondly, what they should also do is to find out how the business runs. Because whenever we see a new professional coming into any business in terms of non-audit functions, we find that they don't have a lot of knowledge about how a business functions. Probably because they are quite young and they're qualified in a very young age. So you have to understand the basic of how the industry functions, how the competitors are functioning.
Correct.
And accordingly, you should find out some unique way of handling the position which is given to you. Any area where you are being assigned, you should find out some innovative ways of improving the existing systems. The existing processes may be outdated. You can improvise that, add some internal controls into it, do something which can control frauds or control cybersecurity threats. So any new professional can focus on these areas and excel themselves.
So to end on a fun note, so what do you think is one misconception about finance professionals?
A finance professional, if you see, he is considered to be someone who doesn't permit innovations or who blocks the development of the entity in terms of budgets and constraints. It's a misconception which has to be overcome. So any finance professional, he should ensure that he is part of the team and he is part of growth of the business. So whatever he does should be for the growth of the business. So that is something which he can focus and ensure that this misconception is proved wrong by the actions.
Thank you, Vimal. It was a pleasure talking to you. I hope our viewers have gained a lot of insights from what you just said. We look forward to having you on our show again.
Thank you, Salil, for this wonderful opportunity, and best wishes for this new initiative.
Thank you.